Welcome to this video tutorial which introduces you to the workings of an RPI. RPI is an acronym for Rob's Pairing Interview. In this tutorial we will perform a walkthrough of a typical pairing interview. This pair programming session is where you and I, the interviewer, the pair programmer, will have a discussion around a coding application. The RPI aims to determine if you can demonstrate that you know the basics of writing code, and are capable of interacting with another person while doing so. The pair programming session will be based around test-driven development and will be language agnostic. You talk, and I, your pair programmer, will code. I will code my way based on what you say to me. You do not code. Relax while we program together. You will be given a number of small challenges which you will be expected to work through one by one. I am looking for more than just your coding knowledge and ability to understand code. It is important that you understand that I will also be evaluating what is your communication like. Can you explain your thought processes and your code? How do you handle error messages? What is your problem solving like? The pairing session lasts for about 45 minutes, but this will depend on the speed at which you solve the individual challenges. Remember, speed is not important, but communication, problem solving and coping with errors is. There are no trick questions with the RPI, and you can have multiple chances to get each challenge correct. Once you get started and feel comfortable, this is your chance to show what you can do. Remember, making mistakes is unimportant, recovering from them is more important. Let me elaborate a bit more regarding communication. This is a very important aspect of the interview which I am going to assess. Communicate at all times. Even if you are hesitating between two approaches, tell me about them both. What are the benefits of each? What is the downside of each? If you are struggling with a problem, talk to me and vocalize your concerns, discuss possible approaches, their pros and cons, the trade-offs. Let me elaborate a bit more regarding your train of thought. I expect you to be able to structure your thoughts and define a strategy for tackling the proposed challenge and the problems that will come up from it. You should conduct yourself in an organized way, so I am able to not just follow you, but also collaborate with you. Getting lost with your thoughts is expected as well, but so is being able to take a step back and getting back on track. Teamwork. The interview is shaped to look a lot like an ordinary workday pair programming session. I will act mainly as your co-worker, rather than like an interviewer. You and I are expected to push back on things we do not agree with, to discuss your ideas, and to adapt to new facts and propositions as they are introduced. There is rarely one right way to do things. Design. Drafting a design for your solution is an important step to take before writing any code. A design will allow you to better understand the problem, to anticipate coding structure and integration problems, and to choose the point to start coding from, in an educated way. Take your time to think. Discuss and evolve it as you go. Let me elaborate a bit more regarding coding skills. I do not expect you to be familiar with the language chosen for the pair programming interview, nor with the integrated development environment that will be used in the coding process. I am not assessing your skills on the language. Test-driven development is a very important part of what we do, so I expect you to have some familiarity with test-driven development. Knowing test-driven development, and how to apply it in practical terms, will definitely help you. Finally, let me elaborate a bit more regarding the design of your coding solution. In terms of your coded solution, you should think carefully about its readability, its maintainability, and its extensibility. These aspects are important so that you finish the challenges with a clean code solution that you're happy with. Today we are going to build a simple banking application that will allow the user to deposit and withdraw money. I will show you some code, and I want you to help me build the banking application. Please, keep communicating with me. I will write the code based on your thoughts and suggestions. If I am not coding as you want, we can discuss the way forward. Have you any questions?
No, I have no questions at the moment. You have explained the process very well for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then let us look at the first test.
Okay, so I see we have a test method called test open bank account. So, the first thing I would like to do is to run the test, and we will see what information we get back. Please run the test. Oh, I can see the test has failed. And the message tells me that it cannot find symbol, bank1, and the location is the class called bank account tests. Okay, let us go back to the test class. Can we now please create a class called Bank1? Okay, that is the Bank1 class created. Let us go back to the test class. Please run the test again, and we will see what information we get back this time. Oh, I can see the test has failed. And the message tells me that the constructor Bank1, in class Bank1, cannot be applied to given types. This is because during the creation of the Bank1 class a default constructor is created, and by default it accepts no arguments. Okay, can we now create a constructor in the Bank1 class, and have it accept a value of type double? The constructor will have the same name as the class, Bank1, and will have no return type, and it will have an access modifier of public. Okay, let us go back into the test class. Can we now run the test again and we can see what information we get back? Okay, we have a different error with our failing test. The error says we have no variable called starting balance. We are also being told that the location should be my Bank1. This is our instance of the class called Bank1. Great, we now need to create a variable called starting balance within our Bank1 class. Can we go into the Bank1 class, please? Okay, at the class level, can we create a variable of data type double? And can we call it starting balance? Thank you. Can we now go back to the test class? Now we need to run the test again to see what error message, if any, we get. The error says, we expected 100 to come back, but instead we got 0 back. Well, if we think about this, the return data is coming from the variable called starting balance, and when we created the variable it was given the default value of 0. We now need to amend the constructor, so that it assigns the value passed to it, to the class level variable starting balance. Can we go back to the Bank1 class, and move to inside the constructor? Now we should assign the passed-in parameter value v to the class variable. The code will be this.startingBalance equals v. Okay, let us go back into the test class. Can we now run the test again and see what information we get back? Okay, that is exactly the result we were looking for, a passing test, a green. Now, the green is the result we needed before we could move on. We have completed step 1 of test-driven development process, the red. We have completed step 2, the green. And now we can complete step 3, by refactoring our code. Can we go back to the Bank1 class, and I will see if I want to refactor the code at this stage of the process. Okay, I would like to change the parameter name from v to, let's say, balance passed in. We will need to change the v in both places in the constructor. We will need to change v in the parameter name. And we will also need to change the assignment of the variable value. Brilliant, that will do for now. Can we now go back to the test class? Now can we run the test again and see what information we get back? Okay. That is exactly the same result, a green, a passing test. So the refactoring has not affected the test.
That's the first test passing. And we can now move to the next test. Watch the next video to see the second test and build your test-driven development skills.